This week, the NAS100 market pretty much stayed in a consolidation, but there are potential 300 and 400 point moves inside of this market. So make sure you stick around because I'm going to talk about my entries, exits, and potential profit targets on the NAS100 market. All right, so what we can see from last week, price pretty much stayed inside of this range. So when I do the breakdown of my game plan for this upcoming week, I'm going to show you some other zones that you could potentially focus on in order to catch some moves inside of the NAS100 market. So let's just go ahead and start with very fresh analysis. So we're going to remove all of the drawings and then start on the weekly time frame. So let's go ahead and make this visible. So now we can see very clear price action here. So for this past week, we can see that the price action, it made a very strong bullish candle for this past week. And that's actually really exciting. We do have a previous high of the market right here. That's really close. So let's go ahead and mark off some zones. So starting at the very top, right around 22,225, let's go ahead and mark off a zone. And then I'm going to mark off another zone right. See, I'm going to do it right here at the top of this wick from this past week. And this is sitting at 21,877. So if I look at the weekly time frame, I think there's only one other level that I do want to draw off so far, and that's going to be around 20,857. So let's go ahead and go to the daily time frame. And if you're finding this information helpful so far, go ahead and like and subscribe to this channel because at this point, I am posting on Saturday, Sunday, and Wednesday. So make sure you don't miss any of those videos so that way you can become a better trader. All right, so the daily time frame right here is looking quite choppy as well, but no worries because we are going to make sense of this. And right now, I think I only want to add one more level, and that's going to be around here at 20,123. And I think that's it on this time frame. Let's go to the H4 time frame, clean up our view a little bit. What if you can trade gold or any market in just 1 hour per day, even if you have a full-time job and still grow the account? Most traders think that they have to sit in front of charts all day, and maybe if they step away, they may either miss a setup or they may come back to a losing trade. Well, in this free masterclass, I'm going to show you a calm and repeatable way for you to enter trades with confidence, and you can lose all the anxiety when you step away from your charts. Go ahead and check out the free masterclass. It's totally free. So now that we got a little bit more data inside of here, there are some additional levels that I'm going to draw, and these are going to be roughly minor levels because this zone is pretty much choppy. Yes, it's essentially moving up, but it's not getting there easily. So there is a level that I do want to draw for right now around 21,406, and then another level here that I'm going to draw at 21,127. So I think that's good to break up this big zone a little bit, and we may refine these levels on lower time frames. Right now, I do see this level that I do want to refine. So now this yellow level is sitting at 20,816. This is still looking good. Let me look at the previous levels that we drew just to make sure they still make sense. So this area is actually very fine because it is at the top of the market at this point. This is still looking good. Okay, yeah, that's pretty much all I want to do on the H4 for now. Let's go down to the H2 time frame. So looking at this with a little bit more detail, I think I still like these levels here. So we're going to leave them. Now I'm seeing a little bit more detail here. So I actually will move this down. And now this yellow level is sitting at roughly 20,763. So now let's go down to the H1 time frame. I've created another community here on School called Consistent Profitable Traders. And if you want to join, you can go to school.com/traders in order to join this free membership. I have a number of things here inside of the community. You can see that the community is growing. There are people being added almost every single day. And then inside of the classroom, I do have some things here. I'm constantly adding new things, new resources for new traders. And if you go over to the calendar, then you'll see that I have a monthly call with everybody inside of this group. So if you want to join this community, go ahead and go to school.com/traders and I'll see you there. Okay, so here is where price action pretty much was for this past week, pretty much this whole level throughout here. And I like the way this is, but I do want to move it up just a little bit. So now the average is sitting at 21,888. And now I see this level nice and clearly. I do like that. And if you remember from last week, week we did have this resistance level all throughout here. Now that price has created some new structure, I do want to have my level around here. I am going to move it just a little bit. So now this is sitting at 21,395. And looking at some price levels, actually, I'll get into that when we get into our game plan. So let me just make sure these are all looking good, and then we'll talk about the game plan really shortly. All right, so looking at this level again, I do want to make an adjustment. So I'm just going to pull this down just a little bit. Now it's sitting at 20,736, and that's looking really good. Let me zoom out a bit just to check on the other levels. It's going to be a little bit difficult to see the candles for a second, but we just need to look at it just to make sure that everything is lining up. So in here, this is a little choppy area. So I'm just actually going to move this yellow level down. And now this is sitting at 19,979. So now we have a nice support that this is sitting on, and it's looking a lot better. Okay, so let's do the same thing at the top. Just take a quick look at the candles and make sure that everything is looking good. Okay, so here it is. Let me zoom in. So looking at this is still looking good. Nice support here, break. Yeah, I like that. And then we have our other levels over here. Okay, great. So now getting into the game plan here, there are some potential moves that we could potentially catch here on NAS100, especially since the trend is generally going up, but it's still in a bit of a consolidation, even though this entire range here, let's just say from, let's see, where was Sunday? Let's see, Monday. Nope, that was last week. Okay, so here was Sunday. So it went down about 159 points. And then eventually from there, it went up an additional 600. Actually, nope. It went up 766 points. So that's a lot of movement inside of this market. Definitely moves to be made. There was one particular member inside of the Profitable Traders Academy who caught 100 points on NAS this week. Amazing, clean setup. She posted her chart inside of the group, and it was an amazing trade. So there's definitely a lot of opportunities inside of here. So when we get to this area here, there's actually a couple different levels. So the first level that I see is right here, and this is sitting at 21,716 as the first level that I see as a potential support. And then there is another level here about, I want to say about here. So it's a little tricky in this area, but here at 21,623. And there's a potential minor level within here. So, I mean, it could be here, but I actually like this a lot better because it looks a lot cleaner to me. And this is going to be at 21,509. So before we do anything, what I like to do is I like to measure these zones just to make sure that they make sense. So this is about 91 points. It's a little small. This right here from this area to this area, 113. Okay, not bad. So if your trading plan allows for smaller point ranges, then this could be really cool. If not, I would just get rid of this one and then just focus on this range within here, which will give you about 200 points inside of the NAS100 market. So I like larger ranges, so this 200 would be a lot better, but I wanted to show you that other one just in case. So now let's look at this range right here. So we got here to here. So from this point all the way up to the top, this previous high right here is 166 points. Definitely a great area. So what I would be looking for, let me draw another level. So it's a little tricky because we do have this range right here. This is kind of a resistance level, and price has been bouncing back and forth. So what I would want to see actually is for my buy idea. So my buy idea would start above here, and I would go from here, targeting here. That's 324 point range, mainly because when I look at this area right here, if price was to go up here and started trading, then there's a potential for it to reject. So I don't want to take a trade and then have it reject. So I want to wait until it breaks out, and I will be looking for this range for the buys. So on the selling side, it's a little bit cleaner. So this could be a short-term short below here. And this range, like we talked about before, is roughly a 200 point range. That's a trading idea to the downside. And then targeting perhaps this support if price was to break. Just being a little careful because price did reject this level. So that would be a trading idea. But if for some reason price continued to push down from this level, then this would be a target right here here from 21,397 all the way down to 21,130. So that would be another trading idea. But of course, since the market is pushing more so bullish, I would be focused mostly on the buys. And then another thing to look at is that this area is the all-time high in the market. So I would just wait to see if price was to push up further and see what market structure does. And if it gives me some nice levels to trade from, then I would trade from those levels. But for right now, we can't really speculate because we don't have anything up here to know where price could potentially fall. So if you like this video, go ahead and give this video a like and then also subscribe to this channel so that way you don't miss any of the new videos that we post here on Saturday, Sunday, and Wednesday, currently 3 times a week, giving you so much value. So go ahead and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.